Well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our Modern Retail Summer Showcase. We're very excited to have everybody. This is one of our largest webinars yet, and we want to make sure this is as beneficial as possible. We have a packed agenda to go through, and we want to give you as much time as possible at the end for questions and answers. So we'll jump right into it. On our agenda today, we're going to start off with a state of modern retail here at CDK, and then we're going to go right into the product innovation highlights, not only for CRM, but for the entire modern retail workflow, desking, and F&I. At the end, like I said, we are going to have a Q&A. So a little housekeeping. If you have a question throughout this entire presentation, please feel free to use the Q&A functionality within the webinar. Put your question there, and at the end of the presentation, we'll pull those up. We'll walk through those, as many as we can, with the time that we have. With that being said, I want to introduce our panel today. My name is Jason Swiech with our product marketing org. We have 5 product leaders today to go through all of the product enhancements. Dave Latham, Paul Brady, Brent Coggan, Heather Barber, and Bridget Lane will all walk through each area of the modern retail workflow and give you an update on what we've been doing and where we're going. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Dave Latham to give a state of modern retail. So take it away, Dave.
Thanks, Jason, and super excited to be here. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. So for those of you who have attended some of our events of the past, we really, first of all, we thank you for joining us again. We definitely, over the past few sessions that we've done, we've made some pretty big commitments to the market in terms of building out a unified platform, a seamless experience. And what we really wanted to do is find more time to get in front of this audience and more opportunity to update you on the things that we're working on. And so that's where we came up with this concept of this summer showcase. So we'll still continue to do our CDK Connect event in the fall. We'll still continue, of course, to do our NADA updates in the spring. And then we want to have this one additional touch point during the summer so that we have more time to present to you the things that we're working on. So again, thank you for attending today, our inaugural version of the summer showcase. Today's releases that we're going to go through, those are a continuation of the work on those promises that we've made in terms of getting to a seamless experience. And we're not naive. We know that the experience using multiple CDK systems of the past has been disjointed. But we want to continue to commit to you that the entire development team is really focused on pulling this thing together so that your dealerships have one customer, one calculation, and ultimately can handle a transaction through a single screen. And so here are some of the themes that we're really focused on: transparency, iteration, and speed. Right, we spend a lot of time in your stores. The product managers that you're going to hear from today, all of them have spent time in your stores with your people, watching how the transaction works, and in some cases it doesn't work. And that's important that we continue to have access to your teams, and we iterate solutions with you, not for you. We're also reducing our feature cycle time. So if you look at some of the older platforms, those cycle times, and what I mean by feature cycle time is the time it takes us to get from a design to code to something ultimately in our users' hands. Those were really lengthy cycle times. And with a lot of the modern platforms that we're talking about today, we're dramatically reducing those cycle times, getting down into the area where we can actually get from feature ideation to getting code in your hands, sometimes within 4 weeks. And so it's important for us to continue to focus on reducing that and iterating more rapidly. But while we're doing that, we also have to remember that CDK systems are responsible for transacting nearly 50% of the car transactions that happen in the United States. So that iteration has to be responsible. It has to work, and we have to make sure that you can continue to operate your business off of these mission-critical platforms. Obviously, there's a lot of focus on AI in the industry. Right now, we're no different. There's a lot of areas, and you're going to see some of those today, especially in some of the CRM updates. But we want to make sure that we're using AI in places where it really actually improves your process and helps your people work more efficiently. So we're not really focused on AI for the sake of AI. We're actually focused on AI with your dealership process in mind, and some of the things that Heather Barber is going to introduce here momentarily will expand upon that. And then ultimately, we want to talk about how we get down to fewer clicks, no double entry, and these smoother customer handoffs. And so I don't want to spend too much time talking about this high level. I think the most important thing is to really dive into the actual work that's happening. So again, thank you for attending. Today is really all about progress. You're going to see what we're delivering now and hopefully where we're going next. And again, remember, these are all products that we're building with you, not for you. And so we will continue to focus on solving actual problems at your dealership on a daily basis. So with that, let's dive right in. First up, we've got Heather Barber, who is going to take you inside some of our most recent CRM innovations. So Heather, take it away.
We have some exciting enhancements that are coming to modern retail in the CRM, and I'm so excited to showcase those for you all today. So like Dave said, we know that we're beyond artificial intelligence being a buzzword. It's a standard in every single industry, and ours is no different. And that's why last year we released our artificial intelligence virtual assistant, Ava. That's what you're seeing on the screen right now. And we've continued to innovate that product. One of those most recent innovations is Knowledge Bank. So Knowledge Bank gives you the ability to train your artificial intelligence the same way that you would train a salesperson. So you're able to go in and add questions and different things that are unique about your dealership and provide the right answer so that the AI responds exactly the way that you would expect one of your salespeople to respond. We know there are things that make your dealership unique, and Knowledge Bank gives you the ability to make sure that your customers know that when they're talking to the virtual assistant. It really provides a best-in-class experience, not only for your customer, but for you as a user of Ava. And we also know, of course, inside the CRM, the leads are the most important thing. It's important that your sales team is able to get a quick and accurate response to your customer. And when you have Ava in place, you have the peace of mind knowing that's happening on every single internet lead. No matter when that lead is submitted, they're getting a quality response from the virtual assistant. It's going to answer their question quickly and with the correct information, both via email and text. And you're able to see that right in the CRM in the opportunity. So you can open up the conversation, view every transaction that Ava is having with your customers exactly the same way you would do it as if a salesperson was. Here, we're going to click a link and get a full conversation view right from the opportunity details page. So that's going to give us the entire conversation thread between Ava and this customer. And this also is going to show Knowledge Bank in action. When we started this demo, we were entering a question and answer into Knowledge Bank, and those responses are able to be used in real time. So as soon as that information is added, the model is aware and is going to use that information when a customer asks a question. In this case, the customer was asking about food options at the dealership because they're going to be hungry. So as soon as we entered that, it powers the AI to know what to say to the customer, and they're able to provide the right information. Because we have that there, we have Knowledge Bank, your virtual assistant is that much more powerful, and it's going to do things in the right way. From here, we're able to see how important that seamless handoff is going to be between Ava and the salesperson, because there are some things that Ava just can't do. And one of those that's highly requested from customers is a walk around of the vehicle. So they want to see a video. And that is something we're really excited to have in your communication toolbox, which is a video application that you're able to use within the CRM. It is our CRM video enhanced application, and you're going to be able to send those via text. That's what we're showing here. You're also able to send them via email. And what we're seeing is that videos are very powerful for customers. Our dealers that are making video a standard practice of their lead follow-up are seeing an 81% increase in their lead to contact time and a 3-time appointment set rate when they make video a standard part of their process. You can see how easy it is to use here. We're able to open our texting application, and we have our video library, so we can save walkarounds of popular vehicles and very quickly get a video either texted or emailed to the customer, so they know exactly what they're going to see when they come in to test drive the car. And the best part of this is that it is all embedded right in the CRM. So the same application you use today is what you're going to use to get those videos out to your customers. Again, you'll have that library to choose from, and we can send the text just as if we would send any other text. It's a personal video, so customers really like it. And again, it increases that appointment set rate at a very high number, like what we're seeing in our stores that are using it today. And we know it being in the CRM just increases that usage as well. Like Dave said, we're really trying to simplify our processes, and that is one big focus in the CRM, simplifying the process for your sales team, which is why we are launching a brand new dashboard for your sales team called My Day. That's what you're seeing here on the screen. The goal is that this dashboard includes every single thing a salesperson needs to see to do their job effectively. So they're no longer jumping from their organizer to their appointments to their inbox to see every different thing that they're working on. It's all on one screen, and it really shows them what the next best thing for them to do is. So it's a consolidated view. They're able to see their appointments there in the top left-hand section. We can reschedule, we can confirm, and move forward with the appointment process when the customer does show up into the showroom. I can see all of my messages here, as well as all of my leads and the follow-up I need to do that day. I'm able to jump in and respond to customers straight from this one page. Again, just one consolidated view. I have an AI summary of 3 different bullet points that give me the most important information I need about that customer. And then I also get a consolidated customer profile. So opportunity details will still be there to track your customer history, but this gives a quick snapshot of the current deal. So we have that AI summary there, again, giving you the most important information about that customer. We're able to see their next task and complete that task straight from here. I can actually respond in that conversations menu right there in the middle and view the conversation, send an email or a text from this page, link straight to Opti details if I do need more information, as well as do things like request a credit application or request information from customers. We are so proud of the investment and the innovations that we've made into the CRM space this year. All of these enhancements have been made with your processes in mind, and we're just really excited to bring them to market and can't wait to share more updates throughout the year. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul and Bridget to showcase some exciting enhancements for desking.
Thank you, Heather. So our goal is to help remove as many obstacles and objections to the buying process as possible. And as Dave mentioned, one of the things that we're working on to try and simplify the entire process is we've got a single calculation engine to power everything from the first pencil, whether it's generated from the online storefront or with your sales agent at the dealership, all the way through to the final credit validation in new F&I. And this helps set the consumer expectations from the first engagement with your dealership and removes duplicative steps, whether it's data collection or and making it a smoother customer handoff if it's necessary. And so in the time that we have, Paul is actually going to go ahead and take you through our latest and greatest in desking and show a few of our workflow improvements that we've been working on as well.
Thanks, Bridget. So everyone should be able to see my screen here. I have loaded up a deal in desking. One thing you'll notice when we land here is that this page has been rethought out and reworked a number of different ways. We took a lot of feedback from support cases, dealer visits, just interactions overall about what desking has, what it doesn't. And what we've really come down to is we need to give you as much of a 360 view in a single page as we can. And so we've redesigned this page from the ground up, starting with thinking about how the deal progresses. And so in the top left, we have our deal type. So finance, lease, cash, balloon, one pay. For the Ford dealers out there, we have FlexBuy. And then the program and the terms, and then moving front and center, quite literally, we have the vehicle. That's the most important thing on the deal. We want to make sure that we have the right VIN, stock number, all of that. Next, in that middle column, we put the incentives there because we know that the incentives and the deal terms and the vehicle are all very closely tied together. And so we wanted to keep those things all in one place so that we're not having to look in a bunch of different spots to try and get all the information at a quick glance. On the upper right, we added the trade because we know that that can be a linchpin in a lot of deals, and we want to make sure that it's available to you and easy to see what we're at in terms of offer, ACV, profit on that is down below. Just the trade-in is very important, so we wanted to make sure that was front and center as well. And lastly, in the bottom right-hand corner, the biggest feedback we've gotten throughout all the desking tools that CDK has is sometimes it can be difficult to see what my profit is. And so we wanted to make that a very big, large tile in the bottom right-hand corner so that we can see the front gross, the back gross, not just the overall profit. I mean, we can see that overall number there, but having the ability to have that front and back and the breakout of the different sections of it, we thought, and we have found in some feedback, has been pretty helpful. So one thing you'll see on this screen is that we put as much into one page as possible. We can adjust things, we can move, we can do whatever we need to. I can apply rebates, I can remove them as I need to. Once I've gotten that deal to a state where it's ready to go and be handed off to my salesperson so that they can present numbers, I can create a worksheet from this upper right-hand corner. And that's going to save my deal automatically and take me into a preview of what I'm going to print out for my sales consultants. So based on the deal type, whether it's finance or lease, you're going to see a couple of different options over here on the right-hand side. This controls what does and does not display. So I'm on a lease deal here. If I want to just display my base payment because I have a customer that came in off the ad, I can toggle that on, and we're going to do your low payment plus your taxes. If I have a customer that they don't care about the vehicle, they already know exactly what's on it, they just want to see some base information, MSRP top line, we can hide those packages and options and give you a more simplified view of the deal. As well, throughout this process, if I have that customer that's in between financing, leasing, we can compare deals, and I can show them side by side a lease and a finance deal. I can do any two deals that I want. It does not have to be the same vehicle. It does not have to be the same type. I can do it. I can do a used car, a new car, a cash, a one pay, a finance, a lease. We wanted to give you guys the flexibility to be able to present these numbers to your customers however your sales process dictates. We wanted to give you that ability to do it on a piece of paper like I'm showing you here, or I've loaded up our digital presentation tool as well. This digital presentation tool is something that's available so that we can help digitize your sales process and remove that paper aspect of dealerships. We know that there's a lot of quotes that can get thrown out and be around just floating in the dealership. And if we're using something like this digital tool, we don't have those things. They're all saved in our desking tool. They're all saved in our CRM. They're all able to be accessed and recalled at any point in time whenever we need them. So we wanted to give this option as well. Now, once we've gone through the presentation, we've gotten that customer to agree to buy the deal. We know the next big piece is the credit application. So I'm going to jump back into our desking tool here, and you'll see up here at the top, we have this credit score. If I click on this, now I did multi-factor authentication prior. Just want to make sure that everything's secure. So users do have to multi-factor authenticate to see any of this credit information, but I can then see what does that customer's credit look like. If they've filled out their credit application as mine has, I can see all of their open inquiries, all of their open lines. I can jump down here and I can also, let's say they screwed up. We know that customers sometimes mess up on credit applications, gross monthly income versus gross yearly income, residence issues, owned, rented versus having a mortgage. So we can always at any point start a new credit application. Also, we've now added right in here the quick access to send these off to your loan origination services. So we've done our hard credit pull. We've worked this deal. We know that we're going to send this over to DealerTrack, Route 1, CDK Credit, or Cuddle. We can, from desking now, without having to leave, without having to go anywhere else, quickly, boom, I'm still on the same page that I was when we first landed here when we were desking our deals. Let's say we get this credit back and we find out, actually, my buyer's not going to qualify and I need to swap it really quick. Under this All Actions menu up here in the top right, I've added my co-buyer, but I can replace them. So I can create a new co-buyer. I can remove that co-buyer entirely, or I can swap that co-buyer over, and now my co-buyer will become my main buyer. So you'll see our deal here was for Jason. And when this swaps over, my deal is now for Molly. So without having to rekey anything, without having to redo anything, it copied over the entirety of the deal. Trade, rebates, accessories, all of that stuff copied over with one click. We think this is a huge, huge help so that you guys don't have to worry about rekeying those deals and reworking it. Now we've got our previously our co-buyer, now is our main buyer, and we know that, hey, this person, this Molly person, she's ready to buy this car. Let's send this off. So we're going to now jump over and we can send this deal over to F&I. And we can either, if they have an existing deal in the DMS, update that one, or I'm just going to go ahead and create a new deal. As we're doing this, when this deal is pushing over to CDK, we're sending over any electronically signed documents, driver's license, insurance cards, anything that's been done digitally with that customer that we've gained during our sales process will flow over into the digital deal jack and be marked ready to go so that as soon as our finance manager opens it up, we are able to see that information. The last thing I'm going to do is leave this opportunity open just because we have to wait for F&I to finish before we close it at the stores I've worked at. So with that, Brent, I'm going to hand it over to you.
When it comes to F&I, we know that time in the office is crucial. That's why CDK is focused on improving efficiencies with its solutions. We're introducing a lot of great enhancements to help make your F&I manager's process more streamlined and your customer's experience better. This starts with a completely reimagined digital deal jacket that now combines the e-sign and deal jacket processes into one screen. You can generate a PIN for signing or send the documents to the customer without ever leaving the digital deal jacket. Based on dealership feedback, we have also built in the ability to reorder documents in the deal jacket so that you can sort the contents into the order that best suits your needs. One item we often hear from dealers is they want a way to be able to create document packs in the deal jacket so the various teams in the dealership don't have to search through the entire jacket to find the ones they need. So we're introducing Save As. Now, all you have to do is select the files you want to combine, hit Save As, and name the new file whatever you like. Your original documents stay indexed, but this creates a new document containing all of the selected documents in a single PDF. We believe this will cut down on the amount of printing and rescanning required. This new functionality will be accessible through the same commands you use in F&I today, so your J and PF prompts. Speaking of efficiencies, CDK has also enhanced its e-sign solution to deliver an improved experience for the F&I manager and consumer. With CDK e-sign, we are introducing a new signature capture method where the consumer can adopt a pre-drawn signature or draw their own. As mentioned earlier, we want to introduce efficiencies in the F&I process wherever possible. Now, when you sign your deal paperwork, you will no longer have any load times between the signing of each document. The system will automatically scroll from one page to the next. This is an example of a small, but we feel, meaningful improvement of F&I efficiencies. For compliance purposes, CDK Sign will not skip any pages that do not have a signature block. You can be assured that the customer had to acknowledge each page before proceeding. Having all of your deal documents in a single signing solution is important to us, so we have built in the ability for you to upload a document, apply a signature block, and include it in the signing ceremony. And with CDK e-contracting, you can incorporate your lender contracts into this workflow as well. You will see these new enhancements being rolled out, along with the digital deal jacket, by the end of this summer. CDK continues to improve on the solutions you use today, but we're also looking toward the future of F&I. To that end, we're working on a brand new F&I system. This is an all-new system from the ground up and is built on the latest technologies. What this means is we can make changes more quickly, improve the overall user experience, and develop workflows that are more efficient and better integrated with the rest of the CDK ecosystem. We can introduce things like F&I Forms Intelligence that can suggest forms automatically with no setups or maintenance required on the part of the dealer. Think a replacement for auto forms, groups, and chains. We will be going to pilot with new F&I the latter part of this year with an anticipated pilot program extending into the first half of 2026. We'd love as many of you as possible to provide your inputs during our pilot process. Talk to your CDK team to learn more about this and to partner with us as we build the future of F&I together. CDK is focused on the end-to-end workflows from lead inception all the way through to the delivery of the vehicle. The evolution of F&I is going to be the final step in the process, making your front-end workflows more streamlined and allowing you to maximize time savings, sell more cars, and be more productive. With that, I'll turn it back over to Jason.
Thanks so much, Brent, and thank you to the entire team for going over those items. I know that this is very exciting for us to show our dealers that of what we've been working on and what's coming for them and what they can do to incorporate these pilots into their workflow. So with that being said, let's go ahead and flip over to the Q&A function of this presentation. I'm going to stop sharing and pull up our Q&A area here and see what we have. So we have the first question here is a CRM question. I'll give this one to you, Heather. Can all sales roles use the new CRM dashboard, or will there be a similar dashboard for other roles?
So specifically for My Day, that is focused on the salesperson, but we're going to be developing very similar dashboards for a sales manager. And we are also looking into how your BDCs might be able to use My Day as well. So we'll be considering all roles as we develop these other features.
Perfect. Thank you. The next one is an F&I question for Brent. Currently, we are using the NP function instead of the PF function. If we adapt the F&I process, would we have to go back to using PF?
So NP was sort of a stopgap in a way to introduce the new method of printing, but eventually there will be only one method of printing. It'll be PF. So effectively in the future, those two functions will be exactly the same, NP or PF. We haven't determined yet if we will retire the function NP, but most likely we'll leave it out there, but both NP and PF will redirect to the same function.
Perfect. Another Heather question for you. What is the ETA again for My Day?
For My Day, we are beginning our pilots very soon. So it'll be after those pilots begin, hopefully by the end of this year.
Sticking with you, we have Sales AI with Impel. Is this different than yours?
It is embedded in the CRM. If you're referring to the chat AI, that is different because that's chatting with your customer while they are shopping. The AI that we have is responding to customers after they've sent the lead in, and it's fully native to the CRM.
Got it. Paul, for desking, how do I change a car in desking? Is there a swapping function?
Yeah, there is. Right next to where the vehicle is located, you can replace it and swap it out with any vehicle, either in your inventory or create a unit if you are doing something on an order for a customer.
And Paul, sticking with you, is this desking only for digital retail customers?
No, we are actively able to turn it on for CRM customers. Any customer at CDK is able to get it. I'd reach out to your sales rep to confirm whether or not you're contracted for it already.
Perfect. Going back to Heather, can we see how many calls we have made a day, emails and sales on one screen?
That would be in a lot of our reporting offerings. So we do have some new analytics reporting that you have available today in the CRM. So on your left-hand menu, if you go to analytics and click into those reports, that would capture all of that. There is not reporting on My Day from what I showed you today.
Got it. Paul, back to you for desking. There's a couple questions around residual money factors, rates, residuals. So can you talk a little bit about the accuracy of that, and then also where the Canadian market comes into play?
Yeah, so I'll go with the Canadian market first. Yes, this tool is available for the Canadian market. We have multiple launches going on there actually this week. So it is in market, in use pretty widely. In terms of kind of lender programs is really the core of that question. It sounds like, where do we get them? How do we use them? We source them from the same third party that most of our CRM dealers use today, which is MarketScan. We also have some internal tool sets that we have just based on OEM relationships. Those things are updated very regularly. We check for new programs at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. Residuals, rates, money factors, rebates, multiple security deposit stuff, all of that is available to them.
Great. Paul and Bridget, this might be for you. When will I be able to communicate through the system to employees and managers? I'm thinking that this is around the desking side, maybe.
Yeah, so that I'm assuming that that's how do I keep contextual information around the customer and the deal in the same location so that everyone has that same information as that deal kind of progresses? Is that what we're looking for? Or is it more of like I need to hand this customer off to another person in the dealership? I don't know if we can get additional information. That is one of the if it is the adding the context to the consumer and the deal, that is something that we are currently problem solving, and we're looking at a few different ways to solve for it. If it is more of the internal comms, that is more of just like a kind of coordination between different positions. That's something that I think is queued up for Q1 of 2024 6.
Yeah, and one of the things that we didn't cover today that we'll likely be showcasing in our next event, probably around Connect, is the work that we've been doing on a brand new communications platform. It's actually a shared platform between all the applications. And so the team right now is really focused on email and text message communications, but internal chat is one of those pieces that they're looking at, and that will be a shared platform. So it doesn't matter if you're in F&I or if you're in the CRM or you're in digital retail, they will all share that common communications platform. But we'll talk more about that in our next event.
I think we definitely covered it. If we didn't, please feel free to re-ask your question. Next one, Heather, this is around video. We have 360-degree walk-around videos on our website of the actual vehicle. Can we upload those via CRM text, or do we have to use the pre-made ones you have?
We don't have pre-made videos. So you'll be adding your own walk-around videos. So the pre-made ones were just there for our demo purposes in our library. So you'll be able to create your own library and have the 360 ones you're talking about added.
Gotcha. Just looking through this, I know we covered a lot of the stuff. This is a higher level question, but is modern retail becoming one interface eventually? Essentially, they're asking, are we sunsetting like what we think of as CRM and things like that? So, Dave, I'll give that to you kind of as a high level.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one for me to take. So the answer is no, we are not sunsetting our CRM. In fact, I think what you saw today that Heather presented is actually additional investments in that core application. You might be talking about the eLeads brand, which we've been slowly moving away from over the last couple of years, because we're really focused on not individual applications, but we're actually focused on the process, the workflow, and the transaction, right? And so the other part of this is it doesn't make sense for us to have multiple development teams that are solving problems individually within their applications, right? So you take what Paul demoed today. We don't want to have a team that's focused on solving desking for the CRM, a team that's focused on desking for F&I, and a team that's focused on desking via API or for digital retail. We want to have one desking team. And so what that means is that we are building solutions that are fit for purpose that can be leveraged by all of our applications. So we come to market with a single desking solution, a single forms and document solution that Brent was showcasing, and we layer that on top of the existing CRM capabilities. So you'll continue to see a convergence of the interfaces, right? So things will continue to look more and more like each other. We actually also hope that helps in terms of training your own people, because once they get used to a CDK interface, that is adaptable so that they can work within the CRM, they can work within F&I, and they're used to the patterns in the interface. So you'll continue to see us focus on pulling those interfaces together into a common language, common patterns. The last thing I'll say is that we're really focused on, if you go back to what I said at the beginning of this, we're really focused on speed and iteration. And part of being fast is removing a lot of unnecessary complexity. So that means, again, if we have one modern stack that we can deploy through, and that stack lets us deploy things in 4 weeks versus 4 months, then we're going to continue to invest in building in that stack. So nothing is being sunset. We're instead investing in continuing to build in the platforms that make sense for the feature that we're building. And you'll continue to see this functionality pull together into a common interface that's familiar to your people.
Brent, this one's for you. I'm going to merge a couple of questions here, but essentially they're asking, first off, is CDK eSign an in-house tool or a third party? And then the second question is, with the new enhancements, The back end certification, they're asking if that transition has been made, and if so, is it approved in all 50 states?
So to the first question, yes, it is a completely wholly developed solution of our own. Our current in-market solution is a third-party partner, is a company called OneSpan. That's the signing provider in today's e-sign solution, but we've updated that and have gone to market with our own complete ground-up solution. There was another question about initials, and we do capture initials as well. You didn't ask me that question, Jason, but it was quick in the video, but we are now capturing initials, which we didn't do previously. And then the other question was, I forget what the third question was. What was the other? What else
They
did
were
you
asking
want?
if that certification, the underlying
Yes.
certification.
So that's, yes. So we meet all of the most stringent security requirements, and we're just in the final stages of dotting the I's and crossing the T's with some of the specific lender requirements. And so making sure that the vaulting and the security associated with passing the contracts back and forth is in place. But yes, it should be fully authorized within all 50 states and for all of our integrated lenders very, very shortly.
Great. Bridget, I think we got some clarification on the communication. So it's essentially, they said, would a salesperson be able to communicate with a manager while working a deal without leaving the customer?
Okay, so then, yeah, that is something that's going to be more of a, as Dave was mentioning, our communication platform that we're working on, and based off of kind of current roadmap and projection, it's going to be slated for more of a Q1 functionality. That might change based off of things that we learn as we're troubleshooting, or as we're working the problem for how we keep the context, the consumer context with the deal. But that is what we have so far.
Great. Heather, a question on My Day. When it rolls out, will users have the options to choose if they want to convert to the new version, or would this be an automatic update for all salespeople?
So My Day isn't converting anything. It's a brand new functionality. It's a brand new feature. So it will be up to you if you choose to use it or not, but it will be available to you.
Let me see. Regarding documents, so I'll leave this open to whoever wants to answer this. Regarding documents, we currently have documents in CRM and in DR. Will those soon be in one place?
I can go ahead and address that. So we are working on making it so that both the CRM documents, digital retail documents, and F&I documents are all pulling from the same document library. And we've got kind of different migration processes in place at the same time. The first focus is just making sure that they're all available from the same backend, or from the same database, and then moving forward, it's increasing the functionality and making that consistent across all three applications as well.
Thank you. Two desking questions. The first one is, when will the new desking screen be available, if not stated already? And then the second is, if desking a vehicle not in stock, this person specifically is asking about trucks, will you be able to add it and have the weight fees calculated?
So when the screen's available, we can turn it on for you today. For any dealers that have used modern retail desking recently, we can turn that on for you as soon as this call is over. Just reach out to your CSM and we can get that figured out. In terms of the weight fees, I believe we do, as part of the creation, ask for weight. If we do not, I will make sure that I follow up with the inventory team to get weight added, because I know that does in California impact quite a few things.
I'll stick with desking. Will there be DVC, display vehicle cost, visibility in the new desking?
Yes, so we are very close. It's not something that I was comfortable showing today. We do have a very basic proof of concept in there where you can see the cost, you can see the invoice, you can see the open ROs, all of that. Just something that's not ready to be turned on today, which is why we didn't display it. Everything that was shown can be available to you now.
Heather, will we have the ability to turn off AI when desired?
Yes, that's available with Ava today. So you can turn Ava off and stop in any AI engagement with a customer, it does become reactive rather than proactive at that point. But there's a lot of different configurations that we can do that will stop the AI when necessary. It is very aware of when a salesperson has been engaged. So if the customer lets Ava know that they're being helped by someone at the store, they're good, thank you for your time, they're going to disengage and step back and let the salesperson take over.
You may have answered this already, Heather, so I apologize, but another person did ask about how do they get into a pilot of My Day?
You can send me an email. I'll put it in the chat, but it's just heatherbarber@cdk.com, and we can put you in if we still have room for additional pilot stores.
Brent, I thought this was a good one for F&I. I'm going to ask it maybe a little bit differently, but their question was essentially, will it be a full update of the UI? And when will this update go live? But maybe you can also speak to, how it's ground up, et cetera.
Yeah, we didn't show much of new F&I. So yes, it is a full update of the UI, but it's so much more than that. It's a ground up rebuild of F&I. So this is not simply a new UI on top of the old Drive F&I. This is from a ground up reconstruction. We're planning to go to pilot the latter part of this year. So before the end of the calendar, we'll have this in the wild in pilot, and we hope to expand the scope of that pilot into the first half of 26.
Jumping back to Heather, can we have AI make an unsold showroom follow-up with a customer? Let's say the following day or 2 days after.
That is something that's on our roadmap. So continuing to extend and enhance the follow-up that the AI is available to do.
So we got a higher level question. I'll kind of pose it to the group around 180. Essentially, is the new F&I and desking going to be taking over 180 is the essential question.
Yeah, I can take that one. So our strategy with everything that we're building is really a North American strategy, right? I mean, we're obviously aware that both the Canadian and US markets have unique requirements, but our goal is to build a single platform that is configurable to work and localized to work in both markets. So that means that everything that we're showing you is with the intent that it is both an offering in the US and the Canadian market. That ultimately means 180 is an application that is somewhat different from our existing applications, in that it's kind of for those of you that use 180 on a daily basis, it's kind of a mashup of a CRM and an F&I system and a desking system. It does a lot. And so our goal there is to, as we introduce new features in our new technology stack, that those features are also introduced in the Canadian market. That also means that in order to actually sunset 180, we also have to replace a lot of those OEM integrations. I think I saw a question in there that was related to some of those OEM integrations as well. And so that's something that we're actively looking at right now, which is how can we introduce some of these new features without disrupting a lot of the existing integrations that exist in that market. In fact, within the last 6 months, we've actually hired some folks in the Canadian market to really focus on how we abstract those integrations and bring them into our modern technology stack. So that is all work that is in progress. We're not at the point of where we're ready to announce a date that we can deprecate 180, but obviously as we pick pieces out of it, desking capabilities, document capabilities, all the CRM functionality, then at some point in time, it won't make sense to continue to operate because it will be duplicative of a lot of our modern tech stack. But that's down the road. We have to win the right to be able to do that. And so in order to do that, we've got to introduce a lot of the new features that this team has been working on in that Canadian market as well.
Great. I think this will have to be our last question here, but I can answer it very quickly, which is, will there be training available on CDK University for our new hires on the new platform upgrades? And the answer is yes. We continue to update our learning platform every day. So please keep up on that as you can. When you have new hires, it's a great tool to make sure that they know how to use the systems. But with that, we are at time. So I want to be respectful of everyone. First of all, thank you to our panel, but also very big thank you to all of our dealers who joined today. We love being in front of you. We want to make sure that you know exactly what's going on here at CDK. And we love your feedback and your partnership over time. So with that, we'll see you soon.